welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is Nikki here. So today's look is not at all about the makeup look. Like, it's just going to be super simple. I'm just going to chuck something on really simple, no eye makeup, because today is all can't speak. Today is all about the buffing technique. Now, the buffing technique I've been doing for a few days now, and I feel like I just need to do a video on it. I believe the creator of this technique originated from Sonia X Pfizer on Instagram, but I'm not 100% sure. I've seen Wayne Goss doing this, and that's why I've picked it up. I think it's an awesome technique. It's a technique that almost makes you look like you've got a filter over your face, like a smoothing filter over your face. If you want your makeup to look airbrushed, especially in photographs, if you've got like an event to go to or something like that, this technique is going to be bomb. And the thing is, there's not many steps to it. It's just one step right at the end, so you can do it with any makeup look. What I would suggest is make sure that your skin is really hydrated, because we're going to be using powders, and using powders is very not like me. So if you want to see how to achieve the buffing technique and get airbrushed flawless looking skin, then just keep on watching. Okay, let's get started. My skin, if I'm honest, just isn't feeling the best. Like, it feels so super tight. I don't know if it's because I've been doing loads of skincare videos on my Instagram. If you don't follow me there, I upload like a skincare or a makeup look every single day on Instagram, so go and check me out over there. I'm going to do a sheet mask just to get a little bit of hydration and get the blood pumping in my skin, because I know that I'm going to be using powder. This sheet mask is actually from Selfridges in London. They do a whole Korean beauty section there. Tons of face masks, like heaven for me. And this one's super cute. So we're going to start off with the floral leaf patch. To start off with, these are little flowers that are a little bit more concentrated. You're going to apply them to the areas that you get a little bit more dry, and then apply the sheet mask over the top for all of that really good hydration. I'm going to let this sit on the skin for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then I'll remove it, and hopefully I'll have a really nice, plump, soft skin. This mask, I can't really move my lips properly, but it's crazy because you can tell that this is a really good sheet mask, and I've tried my fair few, is because the fluid or the serum that is in is so thick that it's not dripping everywhere, you know? Like, it's just on my skin and where it needs to be. So I'm gonna leave this on for about 10 minutes, and then I'll come back to you guys and we'll remove it. Okay, so I left this on for actually longer than what it needed to be left on for. It's been about half an hour. I'm just gonna take the mask off now. I'm also gonna take off the flowers and then just moisturize that serum that's left on my skin. Guys, honestly, my skin feels so smooth, and I can actually see a visible difference in my skin. It just looks so much more plump, so hydrated, but it's just so smooth. Okay, we're gonna move it straight in to foundation. For foundation, I'm gonna be using, again, I want to use something that's more of a satin, a little bit more hydrating, as opposed to a matte like Fenty Beauty is on me. It's like completely, there is no moisture at all. I'm gonna be using Wet n Wild Photofocus foundation in Desert Beige. This one is medium dark. I love this foundation. I think it's an amazing drugstore, just a drugstore foundation for us brown skin girls, because it can be a little bit difficult to get that golden olive tone in a drugstore foundation. This one is more of a kind of satin finish. So I'm going to pop this on. I love the spatula as well on this. Pop it all over the face and then blend it out using a damp beauty blender. Okay, so one thing that I have really noticed with my skin is it looks the worst when I'm tired, or if it's not hydrated. I feel like when it's tired, it looks so wrinkly and just so, I don't know. That's why I feel like it's really important to look after your skin. Make sure that your skin's looking healthy, that it feels fresh. Especially just doing that sheet mask is just kind of like, I feel like kicked my skin into top notch, and now I feel like my foundation looks a lot better than what it would have had I had not hydrated the skin, you know. So do a face mask, or do like eye sheet, what they're called, eye gels underneath your eyes if they're looking a little bit crepey. Anyway, I'm going to move on to concealer. This one is the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. Super coverage. I love this concealer. It is in the shade Warm Sand. I'm just going to pop it underneath my eyes where I need the most coverage, and then again just buff it out using my damp beauty blender. Now I'm going to move on to highlighting. For this look, I just want a really highlighted bright under eye. So I'm actually going to go to the Anastasia. This is the contour cream kit. I'm going to take the shade Banana. I'm actually going to mix it with a little bit of cream because I feel like banana is going to be a bit too light for me. I'm going to pop this underneath the eyes, and then also just a little bit down the center of the face face as well. And again, just using the same side of the beauty blender that we blended out our concealer and foundation with, I'm going to blend out our highlight so it's not crazily strong and it mixes a little bit with that concealer as well. Now don't worry, because I know we look a little bit crazy with this situation going on right here. We're going to buff all this out. I'm going to be using the shade Cinnamon in that cream contour, which is that really beautiful warm tone, and just using like a dense fluffy brush, I'm just going to buff this around the outskirts, get rid of that harsh line, and just warm up the skin and bring a little bit of depth and warmth back into it. Now I'm going to move on just to quickly do my brows using my Benefit products. You guys know that I love Benefit for brows. I'm going to use my Precisely My Brow and then also my 24-hour brow setter. We're just going to quickly fill them in so we've got a bit of definition. We just still want them to be quite natural and not too harsh. So I'm just going to brush them through with a spoolie, fill them in, and then set them in place. I'm now going to take a little bit of cream. We are just going to clean up the brow and then prime the lid as well. I'm not really doing any shadow, but I just want it to be so the smoke from my natural eyelid just disappears. So we're just going to do this and then buff it out using our damp beauty blender again. Just because my eyelids, I've got a cream on them, they are gonna crease. So you can set this with like your translucent palette that we're going to use. Or I've got this Technic, this is the Enticing Pressed Pigment Eyeshadow Palette. It's kind of like the dupe for the Huda Beauties and it is absolutely beautiful. So I'm actually just going to take this salmon colour right in the middle and I'm just going to set all over that cream base. Now that the eyes are done, I'm actually going to move to blush because I kind of work like this. This look isn't really about the eyes at all, it's just about the skin, so I'm working more on that. I'm going to go into the Sigma Blush Cheek Palette and I'm going to take the shade Pinkin, which is this beautiful pink. I think we're going with that pink vibe today, I think that's settled. I'm going to pop this onto my cheeks and I want quite a nice, kind of natural blushed pink cheek. So I don't want it to be barely there, I want you to be able to see it, but I don't want it to be heavily loaded on either. You guys know that I can't go anywhere without my highlighter, so I'm actually going to be using this one is a So Hollywood loose highlighter by Anastasia Beverly Hills. How stunning is this packaging? I'm going to actually pop a little bit of this highlighter in the inner corners of my eyes just to brighten them up a tad, and that's all we're going to do for eyes. And then also I'm going to apply the highlighter to the usual places, so just down the center of my nose and then the cheekbones as well. So I once had, I think it was Ariel or Mario say, the longer you buff your highlighter in, the nicer it gets. And that is so true. The longer you just keep going over it, you'd think that you're going to keep on taking it off, but actually you buff it into the skin and it just gives you like a really nice sort of sheen. Okay, I'm lightly just going to set underneath my eyes because I've noticed a little bit of creasing using my NARS. This is my favorite powder at the moment. This is a translucent crystal light reflecting setting powder in loose. It's not dry looking, it's got light reflective particles in it, so it kind of just still gives a little bit of a glow to the skin. So I'm just going to use my Jeffree Star times Morphe. This brush is beautiful for setting underneath the eyes. It is the JS4. Absolutely stunning, so I'm just going to set lightly underneath the eyes. For mascara, I'm going to be using the Kiko Milano Standout Volume Buildable Mascara, and I'm actually just going to do a couple of coats of this because we're going to be adding falsies, but they are neutral falsies, so we can obviously just stick to the skin again. But just to finish it off, let's add a little bit of this mascara. Of course, you could just leave it like this and have mascara on, but because this is me, of course, I'm going to add lashes. I've actually picked out these lashes that I've not worn in a while. They're by Rude Cosmetics, and they are the Hypnotic Korean Silk 3D lashes. So I'm just going to chuck these babies right on. Let me know down below what your stressful time is when doing the makeup. I think mine is lashes, you know. You guys know that I hate putting on lashes, like I just don't like them. Now that I've got the hang of putting lashes on, I've like stumbled upon another problem, and that is, you know, when you've got lashes and maybe one's a little bit like lower, the other one's a little bit higher, or this one's been put up too right, There are so many different ways you could mess up lashes, and you can tell, right? You can just tell in photos, you can tell that your lashes just look different. Also, what I hate is when you've used your lashes a couple of times and then one, I don't know, loses a couple of lashes, and it just, even though you can't tell when you're looking at them, when you put them in the eyes, you can solely tell. And I've got such a pet peeve of my lashes looking irregular, but I think I don't think you can change that because I feel like everyone's eye shape is different as well. So they're always going to look a little bit different. But I do love these lashes. So these are the eyes done. I'm not doing any bottom mascara. I'm not doing any of that. We are just going to move on to lips now. For lips, I'm just going to be playing with the Huda Beauty. These are the Power Bullet lipsticks. They are stunning. So pigmented in one swipe. I've got these 3 out because I'm just going to mix and match between them. I have Interview, Third Date and Joyride. And I want nothing too pinky, but I want it to be nudie but with a hint of pink. If that's too much to ask. It probably is too much to ask. I'm just going to swatch all these colours, mix them around and hopefully end up with a nice lip colour. Okay, so we settled with actually one. This one is called Interview. And I think it's stunning just on its own. It's got a hint of pink to it, which I wanted. It's just beautiful. I don't know if I'm going to stick to matte or if I'm going to add a gloss on at the end. But we're just going to move in to the buffing technique now. Okay, guys. So this is the buffing technique. Simply put, we are going to take powder. Now, from what I've seen, it's usually like a coloured powder. I don't like to do this because I don't want to add a whole layer of like coverage. I'm happy with the coverage that I've got, but it is just buffing powder into the skin but all over it. The reason why you do it with a coloured one is that it kind of creates like a really thin translucent layer of skin over the top. So everything that we've got going on just looks really, really airbrushed and seamless. This would work brilliantly, and I maybe should have shown you like this, but I don't do my makeup like this, is if you're a little bit more heavy handed and you like a stronger contour, everything's quite strong. I feel like right now this is looking airbrushed, but what this will do is it just kind of ties everything in one. Now, as I said, I like to just use a translucent powder. I'm going to use the NARS one. The reason being is because if I want to touch up on concealer, I want to touch up throughout the day, I can without it getting kind of mixing with the powder and without it causing a problem for me. So I'm going to take this with a really big fluffy brush and in round circular motions, I'm just going to go all over the makeup, trying not to disrupt it too much, and just buff the powder into the skin. Now, I don't know if you guys can see a difference, but I 100% can. Everything is just kind of like sunk in. Like the blusher was there, but it wasn't as prominent, and now it just kind of looks like it's really sunk in, even though that's a translucent powder. Now you might say, well, that's just setting your makeup, because it kind of is, but try it maybe with a colored powder. I feel like because this is translucent, it's not transparent completely, it works the same way that I like it to. And I just like that powder because it's so fine. Now, because I've used powder, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spray a little bit of the MAC Prep and Prime. This is a Fix Plus in Cherry Blossom, the limited edition one. I'm just going to spritz this all over the skin to get it looking like skin again. This isn't going to fix the makeup, but it's just going to get rid of any powder residue to just really make it look like skin. And that, guys, is it. Let me know what you think. You can still see like the highlighter. I don't know if that is because I use the light reflecting powder, and it might go if you use a little bit more of a matte powder, but you can see it all from within. Let me know if you can see a difference. I don't know if you can, but I thought I'd share this buffing technique. If you're going, I don't know, out, night out, you've got loads of photos being taken of yourself, a photo shoot, or you just want to try something different, then try out this technique. If you do, let me know how it goes for you down below. Let me also know if you like videos like this, just tips and tricks that I may have or I've stumbled across. I will always credit the creator. Anyway, everything else is going to be left down below. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and I love you so much. I will see you in my next video. Mwah.